um, each and every one of you. We appreciate your time with us all the time. And we're glad we have our guest speaker right with us, already well seated. And on this episode, we will be talking or discussing another significant topic, that is the intersection of faith, science, and professional standards in drug addiction care. Once again, a very good afternoon to all our compatriots joining us from across Nigeria and other parts of the world, especially those joining us from across Europe, America, Asia, Middle East, and even the rest of Africa. This is the 178th edition of NDLA's Open Forum on X Space, and I'm your host, Femi Babafemi. We are live from the national headquarters of the NDLA, located in the nation's Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. This is a platform where we share information, knowledge, and raise awareness about substance abuse and its devastating impact on human lives, public health, and indeed our environment is not spared. This platform also serves as a channel of providing support and help to those struggling with substance abuse, especially those who need treatment. It's equally a means for us to update you about all of the activities of the agency, especially what we're doing to call discussion substance abuse and illicit drug trafficking. All right. I also like to let us know that on this platform, as we update you, we also appreciate your feedback, because this helps us to continue to improve on our deliverables and serve you, our society, and indeed humanity. This conversation is recorded and is streamed live on our other social media handles, especially at NDLA01 on Facebook and at NDLA TV on YouTube. So you can always go back and take a listen at the end of the conversation today, while we invite those that may not be opportune to be a part of the live conversation can also benefit from the knowledge. Speaker, who definitely I know is not new to a lot of us on the platform today. Let's remind you about some of the activities of the agency in the past 2 weeks. To us today by Meta and Comfort. Ladies, let's have the updates for this week. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good day to everyone, and thank you for joining us on this week's X Space. My name is Natalie Dozier, and here are the NDLVA news highlights for the week. First, the headlines. 93-year-old great-grandpa, medical doctor arrested over cocaine, skunk trafficking. As NDLVA naps couple in Niger State, recovers large consignment of illicit drugs in Lagos, FCT, Borno, Ogun, Imo, Abia, Edo raids. A 93-year-old great-grandpa and a 69-year-old medical doctor top the list of suspects arrested as operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, intensified their offensive action and crackdown on drug cartels.
Just one line.
On drug cartels and their collaborators in intelligence-led interdiction operations across the country. In one of such operations, a non-Ogenarian, Pathfinder Ahukana Chigbu, was arrested at his home in Umagbaiba, Amavo Nkobu village, Osisioma local government area of Abia State on Tuesday, 7th April 2026. A search of his residence led to the recovery of 7.7 kilograms of skunk, a strain of cannabis. The suspects claimed he had worked as a truck pusher, but later learned painting and tiling before going into the illicit drug business over a year ago. He claimed he had been smoking skunk since 1959 before turning it into business. Efforts to unravel local collaborators of an international drug syndicate paid off following the arrest of an Ivorian, Gohori Michael, at the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, Kano, with 82 wraps of cocaine weighing 1.49 kilograms, and the subsequent arrest of a 69-year-old medical doctor, Dr. Chudi Daniel Ofomata, in a follow-up operation in Ogun State. Michael Gohori, also known as Anonwa Onyinye Michael, was arrested on Monday, 16 February 2026, during the outward clearance of passengers on Ethiopian Airlines Flight ET940 to Milan, Malpensa, via Addis Ababa. Gohori had arrived Lagos from Milan, Italy on 17 January 2026 and was shuttling from Lagos to Enugu for 3 weeks. He later traveled to Kano, where he stayed for a week before ingesting the cocaine consignment in his hotel room. He is expected to be paid 5,000 euros when he delivers the drugs in Milan. Further investigations by NDLEA revealed that Gohori had a shadowy figure behind the scene, giving him instructions on how to. Aziz Sani, Olayinka Oke, and Adekunle Adeyemi were arrested with 34 kilograms of skunk when NDLEA operatives raided Sango Underbridge, Sango Ota, Ogun State on Tuesday, 7th April, while 56.2 kilograms of same substance was recovered from a female suspect, Ayoka Akinwale, along Onitsha Owerri Road, Owerri, Imo State on Saturday, 11th April. In Niger State, NDLEA operatives on Thursday, 9th April, arrested a couple, Abdullahi Umar and his wife, Adama Umar, during a search of their Takuti village, Lapai local government area home, where 118 kilograms of skunk were recovered from their kitchen. No fewer than 42,290 tablets of Rafenol, 82,700 ml of codeine syrup, and 10,000 ml of pentazocine injection were recovered from a trailer loaded with vehicle spare parts coming from Nnewi, Anambra State, by NDLEA officers on patrol at Injintiro along Damaturu Maiduguri Road, Borno State. The owner of the consignment, Eleje Ibe Abuchi, was arrested in a follow-up operation. In Lagos, NDLEA operatives acting on credible intelligence on Tuesday, 7th April, intercepted a Chisco Transport luxury bus marked AGU 442XB going to Port Harcourt, River State, along Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. A search led to the recovery of 15 kilograms of Scottish Loud, a strong strain of cannabis, concealed in one of the compartments of the bus. 2 suspects, Kingsley Nsofor and Opara Ifeanyi, were promptly arrested. In another interdiction operation in Lagos, NDLEA officers on Saturday, 11th April, at Mushin area, intercepted a truck conveying assorted goods going to Onitsha, Anambra State. A search of the vehicle led to the seizure of 26,800 bottles of codeine-based syrup and the subsequent arrest of 2 suspects, Adesumoye Dada and Chibuzor Chime. A raid of the Tora Bora notorious drug joint in Abuja by NDLEA operatives on Saturday, 11th April, led to the arrest of 8 suspects, namely Ali Isiaka, Obed Moses, Ibrahim Musa, Atahiru Audu, Kabir Buhari, Olorintobe Samuel, and Ella Gayandi. A combined total of 11.516 kilograms of skunk was seized from the suspects. In Edo State, NDLEA operatives working on actionable intelligence on Saturday, 11th April, intercepted 2 long trucks marked LUI-172XC and LUI-281XC with bags of processed skunk concealed among cartons of beer along Warake Road, Auchi, found to contain 3,900 kilograms of skunk, drug supply reduction, and drug demand reduction efforts. That's it on arrest and seizures. Next is the update. Next is the updates on some of the weather activities across the country for the week, brought to you by my colleague Comforts.
Thank you, Netta. My name is Comfort Folorenshaw, and here are some of the weather activities across the country for the week. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency's commitment to a safer Nigeria is evident in the evolution of its War Against Drug Abuse social advocacy initiative. WADA is more than just a campaign. It's a national movement that empowers people to create change. Its reach extends beyond governmental efforts, actively promoting prevention and recovery in schools, marketplaces, motor parks, and places of worship. In every one of these vital spaces, WADA's message is clear. Let understanding triumph over fear. Let awareness overcome ignorance and support replace rejection. By equipping Nigerians with the tools, courage, and engage in open conversations, encourage recovery, and accept responsibility. The NDLA is not only guiding the nation away from the grave dangers of the drug menace, it is uniting the country under a common banner of true national unity, a collective commitment to confronting and overcoming the scourge of drug abuse for the sake of our families, communities, and shared future. In this regard, on Monday, 6th April 2026, the Cross River State Command of NDLA delivered a WADA enlightenment lecture to drivers, passengers, and park workers at Urban Ahieje Motor Park, Calabar. This section highlighted the risk associated with substance abuse, particularly among transport operators. It emphasized the importance of staying drug-free to ensure road safety, personal well-being, and public security. On Tuesday, 7th April 2026, the Lagos State Strategic Command commanded a WADA sensitization lecture for students and staff of Child-Based School, Parafa, Ikorodu. The engagement focused on educating young learners about the dangers of illicit drug use, encouraging them to make informed decisions and uphold values, healthy and productive lifestyle. On Wednesday, 8th April, the Kogi State Strategic Command delivered a WADA advocacy lecture to students and staff of Government Science Secondary School at Jakarta. The lecture underscored the long-term consequences of substance abuse and inspired the students to become ambassadors of anti-drug campaigns within their school and community. The Osun State members of the Anglican Youth Fellowship Diocese, or KIN, for informed choices and collective responsibility in combating drug abuse, urging students to take an active stand in building safer and healthier communities. That's the update for this week. My name is Comfort, and I hand you over to our host, Mr. Femi, Baba Femi.
All right, thank you very much, ladies. Welcome back from the news and segment. Now let's remind ourselves that in the course of the presentation by our guest speaker, please let's ensure that we remain muted, that's especially those that would have crossed over to the speaker's corner. Please let's ensure that when we approve you to cross to the speaker's side, please let's ensure that we remain muted so that there is no interference coming in to disturb or disrupt the flow of the conversation. It's usually good when we allow things to flow this way so that we can all enjoy the conversation. And we also want to let you know that we also want to let you know about the NDLA's call center, where we have professionals, counselors, clinical psychologists, psychotherapists, as well as psychiatric doctors who work 24/7 every day of the week to provide support to those who need support. That's especially those struggling with substance abuse, their family members or their friends. All you need to do to access the services, the psychosocial support services available at the NDLA's call center, is to dial a toll-free helpline 0800 1020 3040. The number again to dial is 0800 10 20 30 40. And there you have our experts, our professionals, right with you to support you, to lead you through recovery and guide you into reintegration. That's the much for that. Now let's get to the nitty-gritty of our conversation today. We'd like to introduce our guest speaker as someone that had been here before, and I'm sure that we are definitely going to enjoy our conversation, her presentation again today. And she's the other person than Olakunbi Oyedele, who is the founder of Living Vines Mental Health Foundation. Olakunbi, in short, as she's fondly called, is a licensed clinical professional counselor, trauma and addiction specialist, and founder of the Living Vines Mental Health Foundation. She is widely recognized for her integrative approach to mental health care, which harmonizes Christian faith principles with evidence-based clinical practices to support individuals on their journey toward healing and recovery. With advanced training and certifications in trauma, addiction, and ADHD, Kumbi brings a multi-dimensional perspective to psychotherapy, emphasizing both clinical rigor and spiritual sensitivity. Our areas of expertise include trauma-informed psychotherapy and supervision, crisis management and intervention, addiction counseling, ADHD clinical services, mental health, first aid training for both youth and adults, and faith-based counseling. Driven by a deep commitment to community impact, she established the Living Vines Mental Health Foundation, a non-profit organization dedicated to delivering holistic, faith-centered, and clinically sound mental health services. Through this platform, she champions mental health awareness in Nigeria, facilitates substance use prevention programs, and provides professional training for therapists, individuals, and community stakeholders. Kumbi's professional experience spans several leadership roles, including founder and executive director of Living Vines Mental Health Foundation, clinical director at Montgomery Wellness Hub, clinical supervisor at Synergy Family Services, and clinical manager at Catholic Charities in Chicago, Illinois, USA. He holds a master's degree in clinical psychology with a specialization in counseling and trauma from the Chicago School of Professional Psychology and a bachelor's degree in psychology from Covenant University here in Nigeria. She is credentialed as a licensed clinical professional counselor, LCPC, a certified alcohol and drug counselor, and an ADHD certified clinical services provider. Please join me in welcoming Mrs. Olakunbi Oyedele as I invite her to unmute herself while we listen to her spend the next 20-30 minutes thereabout discussing our topic for today, and that is the intersection of faith, science, and professional standards in drug addiction care. It's our pleasure to have you again, Ms. Kumbi. Thank you for being a part of the conversation again today. We appreciate you. Please go ahead and let's enjoy your presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Can everybody hear me? I don't know. And we're talking about the intersection of faith, science, and professional standards in drug addiction care. So I think most people would have, there was a survey that went out, and recently it was on the news that over 14.3 million Nigerians, right, reported past year drug use. So that was, I think very telling. And I think NDLEA was also part of the survey that was already created. So thank you so much for giving us statistics that can actually back the work that we are doing. And reported past year drug use. So we understand that this is a crisis in not just in Nigeria and the world, but in Nigeria, as we're talking specifically in Nigeria, it's a drug crisis going on. And this is a complex problem that does not have one single solution. We need to understand that because, drug affects the complexity of drugs affects your mind, your body, and your spirit. And so, in order for us to address the way addiction affects us, we have to use 3 or 4 point multiple approaches to address mental and substance use addiction in our lives, right? And so addiction abuse or substance use is it devastates families, communities, and nations' economic and social fabric. We can see that it's not only the person that is using or that uses or is addicted that it affects. It affects families, it affects communities, it affects the individual and the economy. And if we are not working hard to look for solutions to address this, we definitely we know that our future is at stake if we don't do that. The dominant responses have been fragmented. There are a lot of people doing fantastic work, right? And there are a lot of things that there are people that we have more clinics, we have more help, there's a need, there's a demand, we know that. But what we have seen is that it's very fragmented. A lot of people are doing things in different areas, and it seems like there's no collective or unified approach to solving this. And so we need to integrate. This fragmentation affects millions without effective, dignified, and sustainable care. There are so many people that we are not even counting. There are so many people that we are not even recognizing. And so we need a system that works where everybody, can get easy access to care and can also be included in the care, and also care can be reached even in marginalized communities. This fragmentation affects millions. And the path forward is not a choice between faith and science. It is actually the integration of both, anchored in professional standards and ethics. We don't have to pick faith or science. We can actually do both and then, and then standardize professional standard so that people can receive the care that they need. Assessing drug addiction requires more than a single approach. And so faith provides what prescription. And so yes, I'm faith-based, but doesn't mean that I ignore other people's faith. And so it's very important that what we have seen is that faith provides what prescription cannot, right? I am very pro-medical, I'm very pro-science, I'm very pro-evidence. But I also know that faith is important in carrying out recovery. A lot of people that I have worked with, and a lot of people that I have worked with, or I have counseled, or have been part of, or have been part of their journey of recovery, they have explained how faith has helped them overcome the challenges of or continue to maintain their recovery. And so faith communities, especially churches or even other faith communities, are very accessible. We know that even in Nigeria, we're very spiritual. We are very religious. I think that's what we should say. We are very religious. And we know that our faith communities they're the source of strength, the source of hope that people go to. Research, Grimm and Grimm, 2019, that was carried out in 2019, says 84% of scientific studies confirm that faith is a positive factor in addiction prevention and recovery, which is one of the reasons why the 12 steps program really worked, although they don't specify, but they believe in a higher power. And that's one of the reasons why, because people understand that with addiction there is a lack of control, right? You're trying to stop, and you are not being able to stop. And so because of that, it's easier. You're able to submit. When you submit to a higher power, it helps you in your recovery. And so spirituality activates brain regions associated with reward, meaning, and emotional regulation. Right? That's the same circuits that is interrupted by addiction. So your spirituality actually helps activate brain regions. So research proves that. And so that's very, very great. Fact, research, faith provides moral grounding, right? We know that with faith, there's a sense of hope, a reason to recover. People that mix their faith and with science and with faith in their recovery, it gives them hope. It gives them the opportunity that, okay, is I can face what I'm battling with because I know that there's a higher power sustaining me. There's God is on my side, and with God on my side, I can do it. There's a sense of hope. There is a community belonging, right? One of the things that people actually, look forward to going to church, apart from their moral grounding, which is their accountability, is also the community, right? That's why people go to their churches, they go to the mosque, or there is a community there. And there's also a sense of purpose, right? There's life beyond addiction, which helps. And of course, that's why I said the 12-step program is rooted in spiritual surrender, right? Faith is not a supplement to recovery, it is a core pillar. Science increasingly confirms what faith communities have always known, right? Science is confirming, like, yes, this is what faith has already known. So faith, of course, might not have all the research, but science is saying yes. Now there's research to prove that this actually works. And so we also know that addiction is a brain disease. Addiction and science. Addiction is a brain disease. And what science does is science has the tools to treat it. And so faith and science coming together, when there's a sense of purpose that faith brings, then we're now using our science tools, our evidence base to bring it together. It transforms, it helps transform care. So treating addiction without science is like treating a broken bone with prayer alone. Both are needed, and science tells us why. You can, no matter how, yes, there's a place for faith for us to be able to pray, but we also need that when somebody goes to the hospital, they need the tools, they need the evidence, able to put all of those things together to fix or to address. And so science and faith are not enemies. They are meant to collaborate together to work. And so the DSM-5 defines addiction as a chronic relapsing brain disease. It's not a moral failure or spiritual problem alone. It doesn't really affect your spirituality, it affects your mind, it affects your brain, right? So the addiction hijacks the brain's domain, dopamine reward system, impairing decision making, impulse control, and emotional regulation. So we have, of course, that's one of the reasons why we have evidence-based treatment like medical supervised detoxification. We have the MATS program. We have the cognitive behavioral programs. We have the medication-assisted treatment, right? We have relapse prevention planning. We have trauma-informed care. We have counseling. We have CBT, DBT. Those are things that are evidence-based. We have several evidence-based treatment that we have used. We have motivational interviewing. We have all of those things that have helped us to say, yes, we can, while faith, we can incorporate our faith with those evidence-based treatment that actually work. Ignoring the biological and psychological dimension of right? We have the reality in Nigeria is like there are many rehabilitation centers. We thank God for that, but a lot of them don't have trained staff or they don't have proper documentation. Where I'm in the US, I'm in Maryland. And one of the things is that, we always say, and I think it's across the board in professional, that if you don't document it, it doesn't happen, right? If you're not putting things down, if you're not documenting things, if you're not putting things down, if you are not, first of all, measuring results, and you are not, it also means that there's no evidence, right? So we need properly trained staff with proper documentation to be able to, access, to give us better reality and consistency in the care that people are receiving. So those are what professional standards bring. Professional brings training and it brings certification. It brings ethics into, right? We need that. We need people to, regardless of whatever profession, wherever you're coming from, if you're coming to treat anyone, we need you to say, these are the ethics, these are the professional standards, this is how we behave. This is what we need on an equal level ground in providing care for people who are human rights concerns, right? For example, we have seen in some, that was a while ago, but we've seen reports of people who are going through addiction or even mental health challenges, being changed, being physically abused, forced treatment in unregulated facilities. That's something that professional standards will, because then people can report and say, hey, this is something that is going on, and those things can be addressed. And so what standards ensure informed consent, evidence-based practices, accurate records, and safe referral. And so it also enforces that the professionals that are providing the care they are trained to be able to do that. They are certified. They're trained. They have the requirements to be able to provide the care needed. Why does Nigeria need professional standards in addiction care? We see the need. We see the skill. Now we have the numbers, and we are seeing, and I'm sure these numbers, this does not even accurately give us the numbers, because we at Mental Living Vines, we actually go into secondary schools and we do preventive care there, prevention, and one of the things that we're seeing is, in fact, I feel like we should start from primary school, because I think like secondary school is already, there are a lot of kids that are already aware, right? And it's good that we're giving that education, but I feel like we need to go back to primary school to actually do more. If we want to do prevention, I think maybe going back to primary school so that we will get more people who, maybe kids that haven't been even been exposed or don't know. So I think maybe that, but there is a need, right? We are seeing numbers. There is a huge need. And so with over 14.3 million Nigerians using drugs, the sheer volume of individuals seeking help is rapidly outpacing the capacity of the current healthcare infrastructure, right? And we need to respond effectively. We need to respond immediately, and we need to respond professionally. And so there's a professional gap. We see that, there's a shortage of trained professionals, right? We don't even have the capacity, right? The capacity needed to be able to facilitate the help needed, right? Because there's a huge need, and there's a lot of people who are not that need to be trained. We also have in Nigeria, me working with youth, is that we have a lot of eager youth who want to be trained, who want to learn, who want to even use their lived experience to actually help other people as well. So that is key. So since there is a professional gap shortage, we need people that are trained. We need people also. One of the things that I'm really, really passionate about is people who have parents who are in recovery or parents who are in addiction, training them so that, of course, that's prevention, and also training them to learn how to equipping them with the tools, because they also have very first-hand experience in being experiencing how addiction affects families, and they can be trained for prevention, and even so that they can also train other people in the community as well. So there's this shortage of trained, and then the human cost. We also know that without enforcing standards, care becomes dangerous, right? Documented reports of all those things. So we definitely know that with the number that we're going with, we need to start to put things, standard are required. And so I don't know if people have heard of the biopsychosocial model, right? We probably heard of that. The biological, right? We need to treat addiction using the biopsychosocial model, really. So what is that? That's the psychological, which is the detoxification, the medical, medication assisted nutrition, exercise. We need to treat our physical body. We need to treat it psychologically. That's the counseling, the trauma-informed care, going to groups, affecting your mind, your thinking. We need to address the mental health aspect of it. We need to address the social aspect, right? That's the family involvement, peer recovery, people that are already in recovery who want to help other people as well. Peer recovery support, vocational training, rebuilding relationships, community ties, because people that are in addiction and are in recovery, they want to reintegrate back into the society. So we need the social aspect of things, and we need the spiritual. We need the prayer, the 12 steps, the facilitation, and making meaning so that we can restore hope and purpose, because one of the things that addiction affects is your hope and your purpose. So one of the things that we do at Living Vines is we have a certification board, which helps people who are seeking to provide certification, like who are professionals looking for training and to be certified. So that's one of the things that we're trying to do. So we have partnered with a board. We partnered with an international organization called RCNRC, and we're the Nigerian board. We are the Nigerian affiliate. We're the member board in Nigeria. So one of the passions that we started was the Living Vine Certification Board, and the RCNRC is a gold standard for addiction and mental health credentialing. One of the things they're recognized in over a lot of countries, a lot of countries in the US. They are all over the US, but they are also in several countries. And so one of the things that we wanted to do was see, you guys are very good in certification and training. We want to bring that to Nigeria. So that was one of the things that we did. We have partnered with them and said, hey, we want to work with you to make sure that the professionals that we are certifying are able to match the professional standard in any part of the country, in any part of the country. So we matched with that. And one of the things the unique thing that we do is we called reciprocity, where we bring people that are certified through us, can reciprocate, can actually use their credentials to be able to work in other countries as well. So that our partner members in RCNRC. So that's one of the things that we bring that is very unique. So our programs, of course, we are deep in understanding the Nigerian culture, the realities of Nigeria. We're saying, hey, we are not just partnering with an organization that doesn't understand. We want to bring the Nigerian cultural context to what we are doing, so we can address specific cultural stigma and then use our resources to address some of those things. So that's what we are doing. So, of course, we understand that this is a time, and this is a time. This is the the need is high, and this is the time that we need to do this. So we are one of the professionals who are we are certifying. We are doing the CADC, which is the counselor, the alcohol and drug counselors. We are doing the peer recovery, people that have lived experience and want to use their lived experience to help other people in recovery. We have the prevention specialist, and then we also have the clinical supervisors. So we have people that have been in addiction care or professionals, or and they want to help other people grow in that field, and they want to be supervisors. So those are some things that we are bringing into the forefront. So we all of this cannot be achieved by one person or even multiple organizations. We need all hands on deck, and I'm so glad about what NDLA. I'm sorry, I always butcher this name. I'm so sorry. NDLEA is doing. I am so, I'm so glad that we're working hand in hand. It's very important for everybody to work in hand in hand together to make sure that we're not just, of course, we are not just punishing, or it's good to be punitive, like, okay, of course, to get the bad guys that are doing things, but we're also making sure that there's a care aspect of things, because we know that addiction is it's a disease, and a lot of people that need the care that is required. So one of the things that I think the standards, what we need to do now is work together with faith, science, and then bringing the professional standard together to make sure that everybody across the board is able to get the care that they need. Getting certified is important, right? Clients deserve evidence-based ethical care that deserve the credibility that comes with international standards, regardless. Anybody, policy makers, we need all policies, we need support from everybody coming together to make sure that the policy, they're driving policy, we need the government to regulate. We definitely need that. We need faith leaders, we need churches, mosques, everybody partner, to work together to make sure that because most people will definitely go first. Most people will go to their faith leader. They would go to their church or their mosque or first, apart from, of course, their families will see that. But we tend to go towards our faith first when we are struggling. And so our faith leaders need to be equipped. They need to be, and our traditional leaders as well. Our traditional leaders need to be equipped. They need to be trained. They need to understand how to refer, how to support, how to partner. And then families need to also understand. Of course, families are the forefront of this. They're the ones seeing all the bear the bond as well, right? So we need families we need to partner with families, survivors, everybody working together. We want to see the gap of the numbers reduce, and we can't do it by ourselves. So recovery is achievable when everybody is well equipped and the society is well equipped to handle it. And we all need everybody, all hands on deck to help our future get to the best place that we can. I hope that this, I don't know if I hope I haven't spent, I'm trying to rush that I hope I haven't spent too much time. I don't know if anybody has any questions, but I think my last words is that faith, drug addiction is not only resolved by faith in science alone or regulation alone. It requires intentional, respectful, and accountable integration of all three. And faith provides hope and moral grounding. Science provides evidence-based treatment. Professional standards provide ethical and effective care. So thank you, everybody, for listening. I hope that, if you have any questions, I'm here to answer.
All right. Thank you very much there. Our dear Lady Kumbi, thank you for your time and the explicit presentation. Thank you very much once again. Indeed, Olakumbi Oyedele, founder, Living Vines Mental Health Foundation. She's been
speaking with us for the past 30 minutes, thereabout. We do appreciate that. Now we quickly appreciate all our compatriots, those joining us via our Facebook page. That's Attend Daily 01 on Facebook, and our YouTube channel. That's Attend Daily TV on YouTube. Thank you very much. On X here, we like to appreciate Dr. James Komolafe. Thank you very much, Dr. James Komolafe, for your time. And then we have Deji Adesogun. That's Uncle Deji on X. Thank you very much, Deji. We have another professional on the space. That's Maria Ilubohi. Thank you very much. Glad to see you again after that after that incident. Let me not go into that, but thank you very much. Glad to see you on this space today. We have Obsession Itoha. Thank you. Itoha is the head of station at Clean Beat 91.5 FM Abuja. Thank you. Tuni Dowu, that's TK. TK is one of our compatriots, joins us from Maryland, US. Thank you very much, TK. Wuni Wale Posho. Thank you very much, Posho. I think that's, I hope I got that right. Then we'll have, okay, my colleague in Lagos, Rita Okwere. Thank you very much. We also have Funsho Jimo. Thank you. Euphemia, thank you, Euphemia. Asma, thank you, Asma. Asma joins us from Kaduna. Tino Electrical World, thank you. Tayo Lawa, Dr. Jonah Kolo, that's our coordinator alternative development program in Nigeria. Thank you very much, Dr. Jonah Kolo. We also have Dr. Dejido. Thank you very much, Dr. Dejido. Daso is a senior police officer. Thank you, Daso. We have John. We have Gentu. We have Abiodun. We have Zedikos. Pascal Ewebu is one of our regular. Thank you very much. We have Joe Pascal. Dave Milham. Dave is one of our colleagues. Dave joins us from Nasarawa. Thank you, Dave. We have Full Tank, Thaddeus, CP Nas, Mr. Worishop, thank you. We have Obi Adaobi, thank you. We have Ukashat Abubakar, thank you. We take a pause there and then we'll return to acknowledge more people later. I'd like to let us know that the space today, we are most likely going to be drawing the curtain at exactly 4:30 because of some other engagements. We apologize for that. So please, would like to really would like to really get everybody to make their contributions as fast and as brief as possible so that we can go around and everybody within the time space, within the time frame that we have. That's we also have Dr. N.A. Gudia, that's the farm Greg. I hope I got that right. Thank you very much for being a part of the conversation today. Okay. Let's start the conversation. Let's start from Dr. James Komolafe. Dr. James Komolafe, if you are available, let's get your contribution. Please go ahead.
Thank you so very much, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're hearing from. And I'd like to thank Kumbi very specially for this exposition. Now, my question is, I'd like to find out from Kumbi whether she has encountered people, especially in the faith-based places, churches, faith-based organization. Has she encountered a situation where people muddle up demonic interference with behavioral violation under the attempt of claiming faith and all of that. And if she has, what template has she developed to be able to put a dividing line between faith, of which some of them are not actual faith work, and behavioral violation, so that people can see that, oh, while claiming faith, there is also the place where your behavior stands out so clear so that you don't just take things for granted. How has she been able to handle those cases? And does she have a framework we can borrow and use here? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much there, Dr. James. Kumbi.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that question. If you could give me an example, I think that would work because I'm trying to understand the question properly so I can answer appropriately. When you say, if you can give me the context of which what you mean.
Okay, great. Kumbi, let me just give you a simple example.
Mhm.
If I refuse to brush my teeth and keep the proper hygiene, I'm talking now from maybe medical sense of it, and I'm exposed to all kinds of diseases and all that, only to come back later to start fighting the demon of cholera and all of that. Then I have left and forfeited my own responsibility and laying claim to the fact that, oh, it's a demon that is affecting me. Oh, you refuse to sleep. Okay, let me give a psychosocial one. You abuse your sleep protocol or regimen for days just because you are busy and all of that. And now you are having a high blood
the concept now, or we still need to invite if you got the well, come back and contextualize.
I'm, this, I believe so. I might get it wrong just because I'm. But
Dr. James, is that right? Is that correct? Um, okay, I guess okay, let's have Fumi back. Okay, we'll have Fumi back now. Let's please let's proceed.
oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't. Okay. So I think, like, can you hear me?
Yeah, very loud and clear. Go ahead.
Okay. So I think what I was like, how what I got from it is how do you take responsibility for your mental health when people don't say or say sorry of their face or their excuse for their mental health challenges and when they don't take responsibility. I think it goes this time if somebody is struggling to take responsibility and the person is not. Kind of a change. So I work with them and try and address the things that they want to address. We go with the tools and we point things out as we go. So that's the framework. And also, and I challenge them. I challenge them to say, hey, is this is something that we have noticed or something? How do you want to work on? It's not my responsibility to make people change. It's their own responsibility to want to change. So we work on what it is that they want to change on gradually. I don't impose my own beliefs or my own need for them to change upon them. What I do is work with them where they are at, right? And meet with them with compassion and with compassion, right? Because people are going through so many things and we have to meet with them with compassion, meet them where they're at and challenge them to grow better. So that's how I will address that. I hope I'm able to, I don't have a framework because what I try to do is work with people individually. Hello, can you hear me? I'm so sorry. I don't know.
Yeah, we are clear.
Okay. Yes. So I work with people individually. I'm very person-centered individual, the individualized plan for people. So that's what I do. And I incorporate as many things that they were likely to incorporate to make sure that they get the help that they need. So that's how I would resolve that.
All right, thank you very much. Let's okay, which of this should I attend to first now? Let's quickly take some questions from our DM before we get okay, let me take this one from Adepate. Adepate is saying thank you to Madam Ola could be right for the presentation. Now I would like to ask a question, which is okay, when challenges arise, when a patient's faith conflicts with medical advice, e.g., medication refusal, how do you resolve that? Okay, you do get that?
Sorry, could you repeat it? I'm sorry.
When there is a challenge, when challenges arise, when a patient's faith conflicts with medical advice, that is, e.g., for example, medication refusal.
Mhm.
That is, how do you resolve that? When you have someone under your care, and then the person is claiming his or her faith would not allow him or her to take medication. How do you resolve that?
I work with people based on where they're at. Like it goes back to that. I encourage them. I give them the research that goes with what it is and tell them this is what the research. But at the end of the day, you can't force people your will against anybody's will. So it's their choice, right? It's autonomy, and that's why it's very important that we work with people where they're at. We meet them where they're at. It's their choice. If they decide that, based on their level, that's where they think, that's where their faith does not meet them, or they don't need a medication because of their faith, then we go with that. Are there other alternatives that we can prefer? We can other solutions, look for other things that can work with them, that might help them. Those things might take longer. Are they willing to do that? So it depends on their level of commitment. Meet people where they're at and work with what it is that you have available and let them choose, right? So I give people the autonomy to choose whatever it is that they want to choose in their care, so that you're not, enforcing things and putting things down, bringing things down their neck. So yeah.
All right, thank you. Let me read this one from Asma. Asma, good afternoon, Madam Kumbi, Ma, and every other listener. To add to the topic, I firmly agree and acknowledge that faith-based organizations play a very key and significant role in the recovery, rehabilitation, and reintegration of individuals back into society. Time and time again, we have seen the incredible impact that faith-driven leadership and compassion can have on lives that the world may have otherwise given up on. A clear example of this is the remarkable work of Pastor Tony Rapo, whose dedication and unwavering commitment have helped a great number of dependent users find their way back not just to sobriety, but to dignity, purpose, and a renewed sense of belonging in the society. It is through the selfless efforts of individuals like Pastor Tony Rapo and organizations rooted in faith that we are reminded of the power of compassion, community, and belief in the possibility of change. They have gone beyond clinical intervention, they restored hope, rebuild identity, and offer the kind of unconditional support that is often the missing piece in a user's journey to recovery. It is therefore safe and indeed necessary to say that faith-based organizations are not just supplementary to the recovery process, they are vital to it. On this platform today, I want to use this medium to appreciate and recognize. Okay, it's appreciating Pastor Tony Rapo. All right, thank you very much, Asma. Okay, you want to speak to that?
Yes, like I said, I thank you so much for that, Pastor Tony Rapo, and so many others, even within churches. There's so many other churches as well, and so many other organizations who are faith-based and, who are using both evidence-based and faith to help people manage or in recovery. So we really want to appreciate that we stand on the foundation that they build, and we continue to build up on their foundation. So we are grateful
for the hard work of all the people who are doing the work and continue to do that to help people. So.
All right, thank you very much. We have barely 15 minutes more. This is Anthony. Anthony, yes, I appreciate the role of faith leaders and faith-based organizations, but I'll ask our guest speaker, does she not think or is she not concerned about the risks of relying solely on non-scientific or faith only approaches in treating addiction? Okay, that's if you are not concerned about.
Yeah, so I think I did well with, or maybe I did not explain as much. It's very important that we faith-based approaches or faith-based organizations also use evidence-based. So I am pro both. I do use evidence-based. So what it is that faith and science should work together. They don't have to work separately. They don't have to antagonize each other. We are working together. So as I also believe in standard professional standard of care. So if somebody is operating an organization where people are coming to receive recovery and they are only using faith, that's okay, but there are two legs. It's like a chair. There are two legs to the chair. That is, there's the faith and there is the science. So you need to work together. The people that are coming in and might not be receiving the evidence-based, the other things needed to provide care. So I would encourage faith-based organizations who are only faith-based and are not using science to go include science in. We don't have to fight against that. It's included and it can help integrate. So what I
We are here for questions pouring in for you, but we have just barely 10 minutes. Apologies, everyone, if we can't take your questions. Today, just bear with us, is because we have programs coming up and we have to end this conversation by 4:30 local time. Okay, let's have this one from Ini. Ini is asking, okay, two questions or two questions in one. Are there no ethical issues when introducing? Okay, no. What ethical issues arise when introducing religious beliefs into clinical addiction care? Since we are talking about professional standards here, and how can healthcare providers respect a patient's religious beliefs without compromising scientific care standards? That's speaking to your topic. That's the professional standards.
Yes.
And conflict there.
One,
or we should take it one after the other?
One after the other, please.
Okay, the first one, what ethical issues arise when introducing religious beliefs into clinical addiction care, since we are talking about professional standards in addiction care?
Okay,
Yes.
so ethical issues would be, for example, when somebody is imposing their own beliefs on another person. So, like I said, it's very important, right? What professional standards does is there's one body that is saying this is how we behave, this is what we need to do, regardless of whatever it is, whatever whoever it is, right, is an equalizer, professional standard. This is what it is. If you are saying that you're a professional, you're coming to say you are practicing in this. This is how we need to treat people. This is what we need to do, regardless. Like as a counselor, as a therapist, anybody that comes to me, right, even though I'm a Christian therapist, when I do therapy, I don't impose anybody. I have people that are Muslim, Buddhist, wherever it is, come in. I I don't tell them, oh, you have to be this, right? If they go in the things, and if there's some things that we don't agree on, we talk about it. But I do not say, oh, you have to be. No, I work with it, what it is that they want to come, and I treat them based on, or I deal with them based on the goals, what it is that they need to be, they want to treat. What we are working on your addiction, this is what we are going to work on. You agree to it. Is that what you want to work on, right? So, and individualized care. So the ethical concern will be you imposing your own biases or your own religion on somebody else. So what professional standard does is treat everybody equally, regardless of whether or not you believe, you share the person's belief, or the person's ethnic, whatever. Treat everybody with respect and with dignity. So that's what professional standards does. And I think that's key regardless, right? So if the person that is in front of you now comes in and say, I'm a Christian and I would like you to use your Christian faith to work with me specifically, right? That's a different thing. That person is asking for it. But when the person is coming to me, and the person is coming for care, regardless of who you are, I am providing professional, ethical care to you, regardless, right? The patient that goes into a hospital, the doctor is required to treat anybody that comes in there, regardless of whether the person is a Muslim or Christian, or, just treat them. That's the first thing. Provide care before anything else. Make sure that they're okay, they're safe, and they're receiving the care. So that's the standard, and that's how it should be. I don't know if you can, the next question.
Okay. The second leg of that, how can healthcare providers respect a patient's religious beliefs without compromising scientific care? I think it's also linked.
Sorry, could you repeat that question, please?
How can healthcare providers respect a patient's religious beliefs without compromising scientific care standards?
I think I answered that.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's also almost the same thing.
Right. Just treating people with respect, regardless of whoever the person is. Regardless. Put your faith, aside. Of course, if you are now doing private practice or something, and the person comes to you, you can explain from the beginning. You let people know that this is what my beliefs are. This is what it is. The person now, if the person decides to say, "Hey, I want to work with you, and I accept the belief, and this is the treatment standard that you're doing. This is what I want to work with," then that person has chosen. But if you don't let the person know you're now imposing, then that's a no-no. The thing is, let people decide. You give people the autonomy to make the decision by themselves. Don't impose.
All right, thank you very much. Let me allow you to catch some breath, and then you'll be giving your closing remarks after I recognize just a few more people, because we have to draw the curtain the dot of 4:30 because of some other engagements. Apologies once again. We have quite a lot of questions in here, but then I believe we had opportunity to answer some of them in subsequent editions of this conversation. First, let's appreciate BFAM Greg, thank you very much. AA Baba, thank you. Ilya Nanda, thank you. Honorable Obi Agosha, thank you. Jimba Olalekan, thank you. Ngozi Bedas Health Solutions, thank you. At Skilani Dipupo, thank you. Sparosh, thank you. True Not, thank you. I think let's just pause it there. Let's take your final words today.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for having me. My final word is to share that, a blood like Christian in Nigeria will not be saved by faith alone. It's not faith alone. It's science alone. It's an integration or regulation alone. It requires intentional, respectful, and accountability integration of all three. And like I said, faith provides more hope and moral grounding. Science provides evidence-based treatment. Professional standards provide ethical and effective care. So what we need to do is integrate all three as much as possible. And faith does not only provide, it's not only Christianity. It can also be, bring your spirituality in that. Living, what we do at Living Vines is we start to equip people to make sure that people get the standard professional care that they receive, and we're certifying people as well. So if you need us, please reach out to us, and we're here to help you and help you and in any way that you can. Thank you so much for having me. I'm grateful. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mrs. Olakunbi Oyedele. She's the founder, Living Vines Mental Health Foundation. She's been with us for the past 1.5 hours. We'd like to appreciate everyone that has been a part of this conversation today. And let's not go without acknowledging and appreciating my colleagues that have been working with me behind the scene here. My dear Lady Rita there, thank you very much. Francis, Daly, Mahmoud, Victor, Kumbi, and the rest of you guys, I appreciate you all. Thank you very much. It's been an awesome time today, and just like 30 minutes, 1.5 hours is gone, and unfortunately we have to cut 30 minutes off because we have another engagement, another significant, important engagement. We apologize, everyone. It's Friday. Let's ensure that we avoid things that will leave permanent scars on us, because we know it's Friday. We want to let down our guard, have some fun, but then please let's try and be moderate in everything we do, so that we won't have to contend with some other issues much later in life. Once again, we'd like to appreciate everyone that has been a part of this. Dr. James Komalafe, thank you for your contribution, and everyone that has been around today, we appreciate you. Until we come your way next week, I'm yours sincerely, and I leave in the hands of Mahmoud. Thank you very much. Mahmoud, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Femi Babafemi, the NDLA's Director of Media and Advocacy, for guiding us throughout today's program. For more information about the NDLA, our listeners can visit our website, www.ndla.gov.ng. Our social media platforms remain at NDLA_Nigeria on X, Instagram,